Part 18. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Ju. Chapter 171. Tang Kinky stood up slowly and said to her parents with tears in her eyes, "Mom, Dad, don't be sad. I can see you again and talk to you again. I'm already very happy. If in the next life, I would like to be your daughter again." Tang Haiquan shed tears and nodded repeatedly, "Okay, we will be a family again in the next life." When the three of them had finished speaking, Shen Tianxing said to them, "Uncle and Aunt, you don't have to worry anymore. This loving orphanage will be taken over by our Xingzi Charity Foundation in the future. I will have people allocate funds for it tomorrow." After hearing this, Tang Haiquan suddenly looked surprised. "Really? That's great. That's great." Guanmin also held Tang Haiquan's hand with excitement and said, "Old Tang, we don't have to sell the house. It's great, it's really great." When Tang Kinky heard that her parents wanted to sell their house to support the life of the orphanage, she looked at her parents with guilt and self-blame. Shen Tianxing learned more about the conditions of the children in the orphanage. When she learned that many of these children were disabled children who had been abandoned by their parents, she said to Tang Haiquan and Guanmin, "I will ask doctors from the hospital to come and check the children's health. If there are any children with problems, go the hospital treatment and treatment expenses for these children will all be paid by our Xingzi Charity Foundation." At this time, Guanmin asked Shen Tianxing again, "President Shen, if you are willing to take over this caring orphanage, it is a blessing for the children. We two old guys are relieved. You see, my wife and I are at this age, it's not too small. Can you send someone to take over this place from now on?" Shen Tianxing looked at the tired and haggard faces of the two elderly people and knew that they must have been having a very difficult time. She also understood their current thinking very well. The old man had worked all his life and had finally recovered from his illness. He should have been taken good care of. Shen Tianxing nodded immediately, "Okay, I will send someone to take over here tomorrow." Guanmin said gratefully, "That's great, we can rest assured that Ching Ching no longer has to worry about things here, and can go to Reincarnation with peace of mind." At the end, Guanmin looked at her daughter with red eyes. She covered her mouth with her hand to prevent herself from crying, but she still couldn't hold it back and her tears fell uncontrollably. When Guanmin cried, Tang Kinky couldn't help crying. When Tang Haiquan saw his wife and daughter crying, he couldn't help but wipe away his tears. Shen Tianxing looked sad and didn't know how to comfort them. All words of comfort seemed so feeble in the face of death and separation. She wisely said, "Goodbye, Uncle, Aunt, it's getting late. Let's go back first. You have a good time with Tang Kinky tonight, and I will take her away tomorrow." Tang Haiquan and Guanmin nodded repeatedly, "Okay, thank you, President Shen. Thank you very much." Shen Tianxing waved to them, walked out of the door, summoned the flying sword, and directly found a remote forest nearby with Duguzixi, and the two of them entered the life space to rest together. When she was chatting with Tang Haiquan and Guanmin just now, her consciousness spread out and scanned the environment of the orphanage and the physical condition of the children. The environment here is very poor. They live in a dilapidated small courtyard. The health of these children is also in poor shape, and they all appear to be malnourished. There are also poor children with disabilities, which makes people feel distressed just looking at them. Shen Tianxing asked Duguzixi, "Zixi, do you think it would be better for this loving orphanage to continue to stay in Jinbi County, or to move all the children to Su City? I feel that if they stay in Jinbi County, it will be better. I can allocate funds to them, but I may not be able to supervise them." Duguzixi thought for a while and replied, "Even if we move them to Su City, you will still have to go to the capital to study in university in a year or two. By then, you will still have to rely on others to manage it." "Then and what's the difference now?" Shen Tianxing sighed softly, "You are right, then let them stay there for the time being." We will allocate funds and send people to manage them first, and we will see the situation later. Dugozixi stroked her head gently. It's been a busy day today, so go and wash up and go to sleep. Shen Tianxing smiled and nodded. Okay, you should go to bed early. Both of them were tired after a long day. After taking a shower, they went back to their rooms to rest. After Shen Tianxing had a deep sleep, he felt comfortable all over. She opened her eyes and saw Dugozixi sitting on her bed, reading a book quietly. Looking at his perfect profile, Shen Tianxing suddenly thought of those words, "A gentleman is like jade." As soon as Shen Tianxing moved, Dugozixi knew that she was awake. He quickly put down the book in his hand, turned to look at her, and asked with a warm smile, "Xiao Xing, are you awake? Are you hungry? Do you want to eat something first?" Shen Tianxing stretched and then said to him, "I'm going to brush my teeth and wash my face first, and then eat something later. What about you? Have you eaten?" Dugozixi smiled gently and said, "No, I want to wait for you to eat together." Shen Tianxing glared at him angrily, "You're so stupid, what will you do if you're starving?" Dugozixi smiled softly and said, "If you're hungry, you'll have to pay for it. Anyway, I'm yours, and you have to be responsible to the end." Shen Tianxing chuckled and said, "Okay, I'll be responsible. I'll be responsible to the end." A trace of satisfaction flashed in Dugozixi's eyes, and she stood up, "Go and wash up quickly. I'll heat up some food for you first." "Good." After the two of them finished eating, Shen Tianxing looked at the sky outside. It was still dark. It seemed that it was still early for dawn outside. Shen Tianxing took Dugozixi to accompany her to refine the medicine. She thought about the disabled children in the orphanage. Some of them might not be cured well by the hospital, and she might have to treat them herself in the end. Now she is refining some more medicine and preparing it. When she wants to use it, she can take it out and use it directly. After it dawned outside, Shen Tianxing and Dugozixi hid their figures again, controlled the flying sword, and returned to the Love Orphanage. She saw that Tang Haiquan and Guanmin were having breakfast with their children. The porridge they ate was very thin, and the side dishes only had a little pickles. Shen Tianxing felt sour in his heart. The orphanage was obviously at the end of its rope. Shen Tianxing did not show up and said directly to Dugozixi, "Let's go to the supermarket to buy some food first." Dugozixi couldn't bear to see the children in this situation, so she responded, "Okay." The two people continued to hide their figures, driving flying swords towards the supermarket in Jinbi County. An hour later, Shen Tianxing and Dugozixi reappeared at the door of the Love Orphanage carrying large and small bags of things. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 172. Tang Haiquan and Guanmin saw Shen Tianxing and Dugozixi coming, and the couple hurried out to welcome them. "President Shen, Mr. Dugu, you are here, please come in quickly, please come in." Shen Tianxing smiled at them and said, "Uncle Tang, Auntie, we went to buy some food and toys for the children. Now go and give them to the children." As Shen Tianxing spoke, he and Dugozixi carried a lot of food and toys into the hall. Shen Tianxing took out two soft little cakes and handed them to Tang Haiquan and Guanmin. "Uncle Tang, Auntie, come on, try it first. Is this cake delicious?" Tang Haiquan and Guanmin had been waiting for the children to have breakfast all morning. During this time, even the children's stomachs were not full. The couple were starving, and they were not even willing to part with the particularly thin porridge. "Take a bite." When they saw the fragrant cake, they felt as if their stomachs were so hungry that their backs were pressed to their backs, and they couldn't help but swallow. Shen Tianxing opened the bag and showed it to them. "Uncle Tang, Auntie, eat quickly. I bought a lot here." Tang Haiquan and Guanmin saw that there were indeed several big bags full of these cakes and buns. The couple were not polite and ate slowly, with their eyes red. Shen Tianxing said to them gently, "Uncle Tang, I will transfer the money to the orphanage's account in a while. If you need anything, go and buy it first. In addition, I have notified Miss Lu Yang of Xingxi Charity Foundation and asked her to come here temporarily to take over this loving orphanage. After that, we will invite professional managers and medical staff to manage this orphanage. In short, don't worry, you two, we will definitely make arrangements for the children." Tang Haiquan and Guan Sen were so moved that they nodded repeatedly, thank you, President Shen, I'm lucky to have you. Otherwise, these children would be really miserable." Shen Tianxing smiled slightly and said, "You don't have to be so polite. I'm just doing my part. As you said, this is a good thing to do good and accumulate virtue. As long as we have the ability, we will do more good deeds and we will be rewarded of." Guanmin wanted to say something, but finally sighed. But Shen Tianxing seemed to know what she was thinking, and said to her, "Although Kinky did not survive this disaster, Kinky has cultivated merits and has merits to protect herself, so she can stay in the world. You can be reborn in a good pregnancy in the future. These are the blessings you have cultivated in this life. Don't we often say that we don't know what blessings that person has achieved in his previous life, so that he will have such a good life in this life? Kinky will be like this too. In the next life, her life will be very good, and you don't have to worry about her anymore. You too will also be blessed by God because of your kindness, and you will live a long life." And that scumbag Wan Kunchao, please pay attention to the newspapers and TV in the past 2 days. There should be news about his arrest. Uncle Tang, Auntie, and Kinky, you must believe that good people will be rewarded, and evil people will be rewarded with evil. It's not that they won't be punished, it's just that the time has not yet come. After hearing what Shen Tianxing said, Tang Haiquan and Guanmin looked at their daughter standing next to them, feeling instantly relieved. The beliefs that had been shaken in their hearts became firm again because of Shen Tianxing. After Tang Haiquan and Guanmin finished eating the small cakes in their hands, they, together with Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi, called the children to come to the hall and distributed cakes to the children. When these children heard that there was cake to eat, they all laughed happily. Shen Tianxing's eyes felt a little astringent as he looked at the bright and satisfied smiling faces. These children have very, very low requirements. Just a piece of cake can make them feel happy and happy. Her abilities are limited, but she is willing to lead her men to spend more manpower and money, just to make these children who lack parental care smile more and be happier. Children also like the good-looking Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi. In this life, Dugu Zixi has been seriously ill since he was a child, and he understands very well the loneliness and isolation of a person locked in a room. But he is much luckier than these children, because he has family members who love him and pamper him like a treasure. Dugu Zixi could put on a cold face towards those adults, but she couldn't put on a cool face towards these children who lacked love but showed 100% trust in them. Some children came to talk to him, and he chatted with them in a gentle tone. The content of the chat was very childish, but Shen Tianxing felt that Dugu Zixi at this time was like a messenger of love, full of sunshine and warmth. After the children had eaten, Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi played games with them. After Lu Yang received Shen Tianxing's call yesterday, he took a plane to Jinbi County early in the morning. Because Jinbi County is too remote, she has to fly to nearby Engshi and then transfer to Jinbi County by car. It was almost 12 o'clock when Lu Yang found the love orphanage. Shen Tianxing directly allocated 1 million to the public account of the orphanage, and asked Dugu Zixi to accompany Tang Haiquan to withdraw the money, and then buy back a bunch of food. At noon, they had dinner together in this loving orphanage. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Shen Tianxing, Dugu Zixi, Lu Yang, and Tang Haiquan went to Jinbi County government together. Before they left, Dugu Zixi had already found someone above him and passed the message down. Sunan, a senior official of the Jinbi County Party Committee, and Zhang Jayed, the county magistrate, broke into a cold sweat when they heard from their superiors that Dugu Zixi and Shen Tianxing had actually come to their place and wanted to do charity at their place. The superiors also repeatedly told them that they went to Jinbi County to do good deeds. This was a great blessing for Jinbi County. They must receive these two young ancestors well and must not make them angry, otherwise, they would be removed. Job. Of course, the threat mentioned above is just to increase their attention, but it is not necessarily what they will do. But how could these veterans who have been in the officialdom for a long time not understand the meaning of the above words? Of course they know what to do. As soon as Sunan, a senior official of the county party committee, and Zhang Jayed, the county magistrate, put down the phone, they immediately sent a car and followed the car to the Love Orphanage in person to greet Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi. When they met the legendary Dugu Zixi and Shen Tianxing, they were naturally very enthusiastic. After inviting them into the car, they sped towards the county government. After arriving at the county government, Dugu Zixi and Shen Tianxing did not follow them in circles and directly mentioned that their Xingzi Charitable Foundation wanted to take over the management of the Love Orphanage. The matter of the Love Orphanage has always been a headache for the Jinbi County government. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 173. Now that Shen Tianxing has proposed to take over this loving orphanage and promised to improve various conditions of the loving orphanage, they, the parents and officials of Jinbi County, feel like a huge burden has been lifted from their hearts, and it is not too late to be happy. They were afraid that Shen Tianxing would change his mind, so they quickly asked their secretary to sort out the documents, and asked Shen Tianxing, the president of the Xingzi Charitable Foundation, to sign the relevant documents with them, and then they felt relieved. After signing, County Magistrate Zhang and the others enthusiastically persuaded Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi to stay and invited them to dinner. Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi declined their kindness, saying goodbye to them on the pretext that they still had many things to do, and left the county government directly. After obtaining the legal operating license of the Love Orphanage, Shen Tianxing and his party also returned to the Love Orphanage. Shen Tianxing looked at the dilapidated courtyard and discussed with Dugu Zixi and Lu Yang, "This courtyard is too old. I think if we want to improve the environment here, we may have to move to another place." Dugu Zixi glanced at Lu Yang and said directly to Shen Tianxing, "We are going back today. Let Lu Yang stay and take charge of the affairs of the Love Orphanage here." Shen Tianxing looked at Lu Yang and asked, "Lu Yang, do you have a problem here?" Lu Yang immediately responded, "No problem." Shen Tianxing told her again, "You can go to the job market tomorrow to recruit a few people to help you. If you need anything, please call me as soon as possible." Lu Yang playfully saluted Shen Tianxing, "Yes, boss." At this time, Dugu Zixi's cell phone rang, and someone sent him a text message that read, "The person has been arrested. Please watch the news on the national TV news channel at 3 p.m. Dugu Zixi showed the text message to Shen Tianxing again. Shen Tianxing said happily, "Great. Tell Uncle Tang, Auntie Tang, and Tang Kinky the good news." After receiving the news, Tang Haiquan, Guanmin, and Tang Kinky's family gathered around the shabby TV, waiting to watch the news broadcast. At 3 o'clock, the first news item was about the arrest of corrupt official Wang Kunchao on suspicion of murder, embezzlement, and bribery, etc. One of the judges interviewed specifically said that if Wang Kunchao's charges were proven, he will definitely be sentenced to death. After reading the news, the Tang family of three burst into tears. Shen Tianxing said to Tang Kinky again, "You can go to Reincarnation with peace of mind now." As soon as Tang Haiquan and Guanmin heard about Shen Tianxing, they looked at their daughter's spirit body with sad faces. Tang Kinky looked relieved. She knelt down to Tang Haiquan and Guanmin, kowtowed 3 times, and said to them with blood and tears, "Dad, Mom, please forgive my daughter for being unfilial. Please take a step first. Please take care of yourself, as Master Shen said, if you live a long life, your daughter can be reincarnated with confidence." When Tang Haiquan and Guanmin heard this, they burst into tears and said in a choked voice, "Okay, Mom and Dad listen to you, we will definitely live well and live a long life, woo woo woo." Tang Kinky also said with a look of reluctance, "Mom, Dad, let's see you in the next life." "Okay, Ching Ching, we will be a family again in the next life." As Shen Tianxing finished reciting the death curse, Tang Kinky's figure slowly floated into the opened gate of the underworld. Seeing her daughter disappear completely, Guanmin cried so hard that she fell to the ground, "Ching Ching, my Ching Ching." Shen Tianxing was afraid that she would be too sad, so he used 2 more spiritual powers to rush into Tang Haiquan and Guanmin, calming down their emotions in an instant. This matter can be considered a happy ending. Shen Tianxing also said goodbye to Tang Haiquan and Guanmin, left Lu Yang behind, and flew back to Su City with Dugu Zixi. When they returned to Shen's ecological manor in Su City, it was time for Li Xiaoxia to prepare dinner. Shen Wenru, Li Xiaoxia, and their twin brothers who had just returned home from school were very happy to see Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi back. Li Xiaoxia looked at her precious daughter with doting eyes, and said with a chuckle, "I thought you wouldn't come back until tomorrow. It's better to come back today, so I don't have to worry about you not being able to come back in time." Shen Tianxing held Li Xiaoxia's arm and said coquettishly, "That's all right. As long as I'm still in school in Su City, I have to spend every birthday with you." Shen Wenru snorted deliberately, "You mean, when you go to college, you will have a reason not to celebrate your birthday with us, right?" Shen Tianxing hurriedly laughed and said, "Oh, Dad, I'm afraid I won't be able to come back in time because I'm in the capital. Besides, it's not good to work so hard every year. Look at everyone's usual birthdays, aren't they all random? Get over it." Shen Wenru and Li Xiaoxia said in unison, "You are different." Shen Tianxing felt warm in his heart, but he still said with a smile, "Whatever is different about me, I am the same. From now on, I will be the same as everyone else." Shen Wenru straightened his face, "Anyway, on your birthday, whether you come back or not, your mother and I will prepare cakes, wine and food for you. It's up to you." Seeing that his parents insisted on doing this, Shen Tianxing stopped arguing with them and just smiled and said, "Okay, I will try my best to make time to come back and celebrate my birthday with you." The next day was Shen Tianxing's birthday. Since everyone has to go to school and work, the birthday dinner is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. In the morning, Shen Tianxing went to the Xingzi Charity Foundation to deal with the backlog of official matters. Then, she went to school and explained to her class teacher Wang Ziqiang that she was going to take leave and come back during the exam. Since the last time Shen Tianxing reminded Wang Ziqiang about the love affair, Wang Ziqiang did not deal with his emotional affairs quickly. As a result, he was really raped by his female, as Shen Tianxing said. Friend had a knife and was hospitalized for more than half a month. Wang Ziqiang now has complicated feelings about Shen Tianxing. He couldn't figure out where this young Shen Tianxing learned his ability to be able to tell other people's things at a glance. But even if he didn't understand it, Wang Ziqiang still had an instinctive fear of Shen Tianxing. As soon as he thought about everything about him, as if he was naked and invisible in front of Shen Tianxing, he felt chills all over his body. Now that Shen Tianxing said that he would take leave until the exam comes back, Wang Ziqiang was really eager to do so. Without saying a word, he approved the leave note for Shen Tianxing. Shen Tianxing was extremely happy. She turned to the classroom and found Zhang Hua, Wu Haishan, and Gao Lingfeng, and invited them to attend her birthday dinner at her home after class. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 174. Zhonghua, Wu Haishan, and Gao Lingfeng had not seen Shen Tianxing for a few days. When they heard Shen Tianxing say that she would not come to class in the future and would only come back for exams at the end of the semester, they felt extremely envious. Wu Haishan looked at her with a sad face and said, "Tianxing, you are so unloyal, so you just left our brothers here and went away alone." Shen Tianxing smiled triumphantly, "If you have the ability, you can do it too." Wu Haishan hummed and said, "You just see that we do nt have you, right? Oh, you do nt have the love of brothers and sisters, this will hit us." Zhonghua said calmly on the side, "Tianxing hit you, but not me. I have known for a long time that Tianxing is the most powerful person, and nothing in this world can stump her. So, she did anything, I won't be surprised by the decision, I will only support it." Gao Lingfeng also nodded, "I agree with Zhonghua." Wu Haishan looked at his two close friends and said with disdain, "You two flatterers, you know how to flatter Tianxing." Shen Tianxing took out his mobile phone, checked the time, and thought of Dugu Zixi who was still waiting for her outside the school gate, so he smiled and said to them, "You guys come here early in the evening, there are people waiting for me outside, I'll leave first." Wu Haishan immediately asked with a gossipy face, "Who is waiting for you? Is it your fiancé?" Shen Tianxing smiled and nodded, "It's him. Let's go, bye. Bye." Wu Haishan watched Shen Tianxing's slender back walking further and further away, and couldn't help but sigh, "Why do I feel that the distance between me and Tianxing is getting farther and farther? It seems that no matter how hard I chase, I can't catch up with her." Zhonghua stretched out his hand to push up the glasses on the bridge of his nose, and chuckled lightly, "Tianxing is not a mortal in the first place. How can mortals like us catch up with her? Now she can always remember us three brothers, and she can do it without saying a word if she has something to do. Help us, this is already a blessing for the three of us, don't think too much about it." Wu Haishan sighed again. Both his and Gao Lingfeng's eyes were filled with unspeakable loss and melancholy. After Shen Tianxing left the classroom, she quickened her pace when she thought that Dugu Zixi was still waiting for her outside the school gate. Just when she was about to reach the school gate, she suddenly heard two loud bangs. Her steps suddenly stopped, and she turned her head to look in the direction of the sound. The next moment, Shen Tianxing heard someone shouting sharply and frighteningly, "Come on, someone! Someone has jumped off the building! Come on, someone! Someone has jumped off the building!" Shen Tianxing immediately ran over without thinking. She was afraid that Dugu Zixi would be impatient, so she used her spiritual consciousness to send a message to Dugu Zixi and said, "Zixi, someone in school jumped off the building. I'll go over and take a look first." Dugu Zixi's message came back immediately, "Okay, I'll be there right away." When Shen Tianxing arrived at the scene, he saw that the person who jumped off the building was a very sweet-looking girl. Fortunately, the girl did not fall on her head and died on the spot. The first place she landed was her waist and back, so the injuries to her waist and chest were very serious. There is also bleeding in the lower abdomen. Shen Tianxing heard the onlookers saying, "Oh my god! This is Shen Fang, a senior in high school. Why can she be so obsessed with it? That's right, there's nothing more terrifying than death. It's such a pity. She is good looking and has good grades. The teachers said she will definitely be admitted to a key university. Oh, I guess there is something difficult to overcome." Shen Tianxing sensed that the girl who jumped off the building still had a breath, and quickly stepped forward. Just when she was about to reach out to give Shen Fang first aid, a male teacher in his 40s stepped forward to stop her. "Hey, this classmate, stop quickly, don't touch her, don't touch her, so as not to cause secondary harm, we have already called the police and emergency services, let's wait until the emergency doctors arrive." Shen Tianxing could see that the male teacher had good intentions, and she said to him politely, Teacher, I am studying medicine and have already graduated. Now this classmate has only one breath left. I'm afraid he won't be able to wait for the ambulance come here. I will give her first aid now to prolong her life. If there is any problem with the first aid, I will be responsible, okay? The male teacher saw that Shen Tianxing didn't seem to be joking, and when he heard her say that he would be responsible, he couldn't help but sigh, "You kid. This is a living human life. Saving one life is better than building a 7-level pagoda." Now that she has met Shen Tianxing, it is fate, and she will not be allowed to give up and end her life so easily again. Since she dared to take action, she was naturally confident that she could save Shen Fang. Shen Tianxing no longer cared what the people next to her thought about her. Using her bag as cover, she took out the golden needle from the space and began to give Shen Fang first aid. As for those who originally doubted whether Shen Tianxing was a real doctor, as soon as they saw Shen Tianxing's needles flying like flies, and then seeing her tap her fingers a few times, Shen Fang's body and lower abdomen stopped bleeding, and they immediately responded. Shen Tianxing was full of admiration and admired her medical skills. After Shen Tianxing's first aid was completed, Shen Fang's vital signs stabilized, and the ambulance from Su City First People's Hospital also arrived. Shen Tianxing looked at the doctor who got out of the car. Hey, he was an acquaintance from the emergency department. When Xiao Huiyan got off the ambulance, he immediately saw the beautiful girl with elegant temperament standing next to the girl who jumped from the building. Xiao Huiyan immediately ran towards Shen Tianxing with excitement on his face. "Little miracle doctor, why are you here?" After asking this question, Xiao Huiyan reacted belatedly, "Oh, I forgot, you are also a student of this school." Shen Tianxing nodded towards Xiao Huiyan and lowered his voice and said to him, "This girl is a senior high school student, her name is Shen Fang. I have given her first aid and her vital signs are normal. Her main injuries are her ribs and 2 of her lumbar vertebrae and ribs were broken, and I just helped her put them back together. The lumbar vertebrae are probably comminuted fractures, and there is a risk of paralysis. Pull her back first and try your best to help her treat her. If you have any questions, please contact me again. I have something else to do today, so I won't go to the hospital with you for now. Also, the problem of her jumping off the building may be a bit complicated. I will go over to see her later. Please help me and pay more attention first." Xiao Huiyan had a rare opportunity to get close to the little miracle doctor. When he heard her instructions, he nodded hurriedly, "Okay, okay, everything will follow the little miracle doctor's instructions. Let's take her back to the hospital first." Shen Tianxing nodded slightly, "Go." When Shen Tianxing was doing first aid, he had already opened his eyes and saw Shen Fang's experience before and after jumping from the building. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 175. This is also a poor child. She was supposed to have a very beautiful life, but she was deceived by her parents. Shen Fang's parents were originally ordinary workers and gave birth to 2 sisters, Shen Fen and Shen Fang. Her sister Shen Fen became a nurse after finishing her secondary school education in medical care. She married a man who taught and gave birth to a son. Her family background was neither good nor bad and she could live an ordinary life. If Shen Fang's parents were not involved in gambling, even if her family's material life was not very good, they would still be able to survive. When Shen Fang graduates from college, life may get better and better. Unfortunately, Shen Fang's parents were addicted to gambling, which was the beginning of Shen Fang's disaster. Gambling is the root of all evil. I don't know how many people who are addicted to gambling end up losing their money, harming others, ruining their families, and even turning to crime. Since Shen Fang's parents became addicted to gambling, they started gambling from a young age to a large amount of gambling. In the end, they didn't even go to class and hung out in gambling stalls all day long. The couple became addicted to gambling together. Not only did they lose the little savings they had, they also borrowed money at usurious rates. Under the terrible compounding interest rates of loan sharks, their debt reached nearly 1 million. They could only sell everything in their home, but it was still not enough to repay the debt. Loan sharks came to collect debts. Unintentionally, they saw the innocent and sweet-looking Shen Fang, and they immediately had a vicious and evil idea. They proposed to Shen Fang's parents the idea of letting Shen Fang sell herself to pay off the couple's debts. Shen Fang's parents were reluctant at first, but after repeated threats from loan sharks, they finally drugged their daughter Shen Fang with their own hands, and then sent their daughter Shen Fang into the wolf's den with their own hands. When Shen Fang woke up next to a man who was as fat as a pig, he was as smart as Shen Fang and understood instantly. She was sold by her biological parents. Her mother brought her a glass of milk before she went to bed. At that time, she was still thinking, how could her mother be so nice today? Not only did she not curse, but she also kindly brought milk for her to drink. Now that I think about it, it's really ironic. Is there anything in this world that can be more painful and despairing than being betrayed by your biological parents? The fat pig man who bought Shen Fang's first night was named Zhu Bei. He was nearly 50 years old. Taoists called him Eighth Master. He controls most of the entertainment industry in Sioux City, including entertainment companies, KTVs, nightclubs, clubs, etc. I don't know how many of those girls who dreamed of being stars were tricked into the dark world by him in the name of entertainment companies, where they were allowed to be abused, their youth was ruined, and they even lost their lives. But this Zhu Bei is a very smart man and very clean in his work. No matter what he does, he will make the person involved sign a life or death agreement. If a woman was really played to death, he would take out the incision signed by the person involved and throw in a sum of money to silence the family members. Therefore, before Shen Fang's accident, Zhu Bei had been living a very happy life. And after Zhu Bei went to bed with Shen Fang, he became obsessed with Shen Fang's body and continued to pester her. Of course Shen Fang doesn't want to be with such a fat pig man. However, her biological parents knelt down and begged her, begging her to continue to accompany Zhu Bei so that they could have the money to continue gambling. Seeing her parents who didn't care about her life and death, Shen Fang felt extremely desperate. At this time, she already had thoughts of death. Until she found out that she was pregnant with Zhu Bei's child, this pregnancy became the last straw that broke her spirit. She really couldn't hold on any longer. When Shen Fang stood on the rooftop of the teaching building, looking at the school she loved, Shen Fang's eyes were full of nostalgia. But when she thought about what happened to her, she felt unable to escape. Finally, she chose to close her eyes and jumped resolutely. When Shen Fang woke up from the hospital, she felt pain all over her body. She could still endure the physical pain. But what made her feel desperate was that her parents, standing in front of her, were not happy when she woke up, let alone inquired about her welfare, but were scolded by Shen's mother. "You unfilial daughter, if you want to die, why don't you die in a clean manner? Now that you are half dead, are you trying to drag us down to death?" Father Shen was also there to accuse, "Xiao Fang, why are you so stubborn? If you just follow Master Ba, you can eat well and drink hot food, and we as parents can also benefit from you, but now what? How can we, as parents, have the money to treat you when you are half dead?" Mother Shen said even more viciously, "Just wait to die in the hospital. You might as well die in the hospital." When Shen Fang heard these words from her parents, it was like a sharp knife piercing her heart one after another, and she burst into tears again. Are these two really her biological parents? As the saying goes, you can't even eat the tiger's venom. Are there really biological parents in this world who treat their children so cruelly? She was so desperate that she jumped off the building. Why didn't God let her die? Why keep her alive? Why can't she even want to die? Why should we save her? Mother Shen was still yelling and swearing. Even the Dr. Xiao Huan and the nurse outside couldn't help feeling angry when they heard their harsh words and kicked them out directly. Mother Shen even scolded the nurse, "You want to drive us away, right? Okay, okay, you still think we are rare and come to this hellish place. We won't come here anymore. You go and ask for medical expenses from others. Husband, let's go." The nurse looked at Father Shen and Mother Shen, who stormed away, speechless. "Oh my God, who is this person? How could there be such wonderful and weird parents in this world? It's simply unimaginable. Whoever reincarnates as their daughter in this life will be a disaster." The nurse looked at Dr. Xiao Huan and suddenly exclaimed, "Oh, Dr. Xiao, they haven't paid the medical fee yet. What should I do?" Xiao Huan thought of Shen Tianxing's instructions and sighed softly, "Let's keep the accounts first. Someone will pay the accounts." The nurse frowned, "This is against the hospital's rules. What if no one comes to pay the bill then? Are we supposed to bear this responsibility?" Xiao Huan patted the little nurse on the shoulder, "Don't worry, this matter won't be your fault. You should go see that poor child and untie her. We finally rescued her. Come back and don't let her seek death again." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 176. The little nurse nodded and opened the door helplessly. When she saw Shenfang pulling out the monitoring line and intravenous tube from her body, she immediately screamed, "Dr. Xiao, come quickly! Dr. Xiao, Dr. Xiao!" Xiao Huan, who had just walked a few steps away, rushed back when he heard the little nurse's scream, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" Then he saw clearly the crazy thoughts and movements on Shenfang's face, and quickly said to the nurse, "Go and get the sedative." At this time, Shenfang was so stimulated by her parents that her desire to die was even stronger than before. She had already felt that something was wrong with her body. As her mother said, her half-dead state frightened her more than death, so she might as well just die. Only death can free her. Only death can end things once and for all. Xiao Huan held her down and said to her seriously, "Shenfang, calm down, don't get excited, okay? Don't get excited." Shenfang yelled at Xiao Huan with despair in her eyes, "Why did you save me? Why did you save me? Why did you save me when you just let me die? Wow, oh, I don't want to live, I really don't want to live, please, let me die, woo." Xiao Huan ignored her hysterical cries. When he saw that the little nurse had brought the syringe containing the sedative, he stabbed it directly into her body. Shenfang soon felt dizzy. In the blink of an eye, under the influence of the sedative, she fell into a deep sleep. Xiao Huan and the little nurse looked at each other and breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at Shenfang, who was already sleeping, Xiao Huan thought of Shen Tianxing's instructions again. Now that Shenfang was like this, did he have to tell Shen Tianxing? After much deliberation, Xiao Huan took out his cell phone and dialed Shen Tianxing's cell phone number. At this time, Shen Tianxing was at home preparing snacks and dishes for the birthday party with Li Xiaoxia. When she heard her cell phone ringing, she quickly washed her hands and took it out to take a look. When she saw that the call was from Xiao Huan, Shen Tianxing knew that Xiao Huan must report Shenfang's matter to her. Shen Tianxing pressed the answer button directly, and before Xiao Huan could speak, she asked directly, "Hey, Dr. Xiao, how is Shenfang doing now?" Although Shen Tianxing likes to do good deeds and accumulate virtue, she will not delay her own important things just to do good deeds. She is really not that great. As soon as Xiao Huan heard Shen Tianxing ask about it, he knew that he had made the right call. He also told Shen Tianxing in detail about Shenfang's current illness and mental state, the attitude of Shen Fang's parents, and the unpaid medical bills. Shen Tianxing immediately replied, "Don't worry about the medical expenses. This will be paid for by our Xingzi Charity Foundation. However, don't let Shen Fang's parents know about this situation for the time being. In addition, Shen Fang's illness will be released tomorrow. After I finish my work today, I'll go to the hospital to see her, and I'll give you a hard time now." When Xiao Huiyan heard that Shen Tianxing said he was coming tomorrow, he immediately said happily, "It's not hard, it's not hard. I will definitely take good care of her. Then I will wait for the arrival of the little miracle doctor in the hospital tomorrow." Sensing the urgency in Xiao Huiyan's tone, Shen Tianxing smiled slightly and said, "Okay, see you tomorrow." Xiao Huiyan replied again, "Okay, see you tomorrow." After hanging up the phone, Xiao Huiyan waved his fist excitedly. Tomorrow he would have to follow the little miraculous doctor closely to see if he could learn a few tricks from the little miraculous doctor, and then ask the little miraculous doctor for her miraculous medical skills. When he thought of Shen Tianxing's miraculous treatment techniques, Xiao Huiyan felt inexplicable admiration and wished he could become a great doctor like Shen Tianxing. Li Xiaoxia saw Shen Tianxing hang up the phone and asked casually, "Who called?" Shen Tianxing sighed softly, "There is a call from the hospital. There is a poor patient who needs me to go over and take care of it tomorrow." She didn't dare tell her mother about Shen Fang. After all, today is her birthday. In the opinion of people like her mother, it is very unlucky to see blood on this birthday, so as not to worry her if she talks about it. Li Xiaoxia glanced at her daughter and said, "Does this hospital often ask you to come for medical treatment?" Shen Tianxing shook his head, "Of course not, I will only go there for special patients." "That's pretty much it?" Li Xiaoxia warned her again with a serious face, "Xiaoxing, you have to remember that you are still a student, so don't delay your studies for too many chores." Shen Tianxing smiled coquettishly and said, "Mom, I know, don't worry, I promise to give you the first place in the exam every year." Li Xiaoxia also laughed, "Okay, this is what you said. If you don't get first place in the exam, see how I can slap you." Shen Tianxing also said confidently, "Okay, if I don't get first place in the exam, you can do whatever you want." Shen Wenru heard the laughter of the two women in the kitchen and came over. "What are you two laughing at?" Li Xiaoxia smiled and replied, "I am telling your precious daughter not to be distracted by too many chores and to concentrate on studying well. She said that she promises to get us the first place every year. If she cannot get it back, she will let her go. I whipped her." Shen Wenru also laughed and said, "Isn't it just to take first place? For our little star, that is not an easy thing, right? Little star, Dad believes in you, you will always be the best." Shen Tianxing chuckled and said, "Dad still knows me best." Li Xiaoxia deliberately smiled and teased her, "Hey, now that you have a father, you don't want a mother." Shen Tianxing quickly said to her with a flattering smile, "No, no, no, how can I not want my mother? I love my parents the most." Duguzixi, who was sitting boredly in the living room watching TV, kept listening to their conversation with his ears pricked up. At this time, when he heard Shen Tianxing say that she loved her parents the most, Master Dugu looked in Shen Tianxing's direction with a sad look on his face. "And me? And me? Where do you place me?" Shen Tianxing seemed to sense the sorrow in his heart, and said to him through voice transmission, "Zixi, you are also my favorite person." Duguzixi's mouth curled up slightly and she replied, "That's pretty much it." Shen Tianxing was just trying to see if Duguzixi would eavesdrop here, and then he would be jealous here alone. Unexpectedly, she actually guessed it, and he was really jealous. Shen Tianxing felt that he was both funny and sweet. Shen Tianxing suddenly called him, "Zixi, if you feel bored, come over and help me." Duguzixi immediately stood up and responded loudly, "Okay." Dominating the powerful families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 177. Li Xiaoxia patted Shen Tianxing lightly. Why did you call Zixi over? It's just such a small amount of work, we and I can handle it. Shen Tianxing smiled and said to Li Xiaoxia, Mom, we cook well together. You and Dad go out to rest first. Guests will come soon, and you two will have to work. Li Xiaoxia thought that she would really have to greet those relatives later. When she saw Tugu Zixi coming over, she asked uncertainly, is it really okay for you two? Shen Tianxing and Tugu Zixi responded in unison, it's true. Shen Wenru smiled on the side and said, Axia, just let the two of them do their work. You have been busy for most of the day, so come out and take a rest. Mom, you see my dad feels sorry for you, get out quickly. Shen Tianxing smiled and pushed Li Xiaoxia out. Li Xiaoxia looked helpless and said to Tugu Zixi again, Zixi, thank you for your hard work. Tugu Zixi smiled and said, Auntie, it's not hard. As long as he could be with Shen Tianxing, he would accept it even if it was hard work. What's more, it's just a few dishes, and he really doesn't feel like it's hard. Today is Xiaoxing's birthday, so he should cook, so that he can better reflect his deep love for Xiaoxing. Shen Tianxing was used to being around him in space, and the two of them really had a tacit understanding when working together. In just a short while, everything was ready. They started to cook the vegetables and soups that needed to be stewed. At 3:30 in the afternoon, Mr. Shen, his wife, and his aunt Ma Hongying came over first. As soon as they walked in, they asked, where is our birthday boy? Li Xiaoxia smiled and replied, Xiaoxing and Zixi are busy in the kitchen. When Mr. Shen and Ms. Shen heard that Zixi and Xiaoxing were busy in the kitchen, they smiled angrily and said to Li Xiaoxia, Zixi is a guest, how can you let him cook? Shen Tianxing heard the noise and came out, and happened to hear what Ms. Shen said, and quickly smiled and said, Grandma, it's okay, today is my birthday, just in time for Zixi to show off, and also for you to have a taste of Zixi's. His craftsmanship is also very good, not worse than mine at all. When Mr. Shen and Ms. Shen heard this, they both laughed and said, really? Mr. Shen also said, I will have a few more drinks with Zixi later. Shen Tianxing smiled and coaxed the old man, no problem, I will definitely let him have a few more drinks with you. At this time, Mr. Shen and Ms. Shen smiled and took out a red box from their pockets with the logo of a well-known gold store on it. Mr. Shen first handed the gift to Shen Tianxing, then smiled and touched her head, and said lovingly, come on, little Xing, this is the birthday gift Grandpa bought for you. I hope my little Xing will grow better and better, I am getting smarter and smarter, my grades are getting better and better, and I will be admitted to a higher education institution. Ms. Shen also handed over her gift, little Xing, this is a gift bought by Grandma. Grandma also wishes little Xing good health, academic progress, a gold medal, and everything goes well. Aunt Ma Hongying also took out a bag from a big international brand, which also contained clothes from this big brand. Xiaoxing, Aunt didn't know what to buy you, so she bought 2 sets of clothes. Thank you, Grandpa. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Aunt. Shen Tianxing felt the care and love that the old man and his wife had for her, and couldn't help but be moved to tears. She opened her hands and gave Mr. Shen and Ms. Shen a hug each. Thank you, Grandpa, thank you Grandma. Xiaoxing also wishes Grandpa and Grandma a long life of 200 years, he. When Mr. Shen and Ms. Shen heard what Shen Tianxing said about living a long life of 200 years, they both laughed. If we could live 200 years, wouldn't we live like old monsters? It's just that it's not good to live too long. By then, we will become a burden to the children. If you want it, we old people can't bear it. Shen Tianxing snorted and said with an angry smile, whoever dares to say that grandparents are a drag, I will be the first to not spare them. People often say that if there is an elder in the family, like a treasure, the longer the grandparents live, the better for us, the better the Shen family is. Grandpa and Grandma, with Xiaoxin here, you two will always work hard, and Xiaoxin promises to make you live a comfortable life. Shen Tianxing's words made Mr. Shen and Mrs. Shen very happy, saying that their little star was a lucky star. After receiving the birthday gifts and coaxing the elderly, Shen Tianxing said to them, "Grandpa, Grandma, and Aunt, please sit down for a moment. I will continue working with Zixi. I will drink with you later." Mr. Shen smiled and waved to her, "Go, go." Seeing Shen Tianxing walking towards the kitchen, Mr. Shen sighed with emotion again. "Every time I look at this child Xiaoxing, I always think about what great virtues our Shen family has accumulated in the past life to be able to the lucky star Xiaoxing has fallen into our home." Mrs. Shen also smiled with emotion. "Isn't that right? Xiaoxing is such a good child. Ever since he was a child, I really haven't noticed anything wrong with this child. He is not skinny at all and is so sensible. It hurts, it's so perfect." Ma Hongying also nodded in agreement and said, "Third brother, Axia, it's really not me who praises our little star. Little star is really a little lucky star, a little god, and a little bodhisattva in everyone's eyes. In such a big place like our village, who can not to mention how good our little star is?" Mr. Shen also nodded and said, "Yes. Xiaoxing not only made our family rich, she also made our entire village rich, and even made the surrounding villages better off." Ma Hongying said with a smile, "According to my family Wenjun, our Shen ecological manor has formed a very good ecological chain, with our home as the center point and constantly radiating outward." Shen Wenru and Li Xiaoxia felt proud when their parents and sister-in-law praised Xiaoxing. But Shen Wenru still said modestly, "Mom, Dad, and sister-in-law, please don't praise her all the time. This child, if you praise her, she will get carried away, haha." Mrs. Shen glared at her son, "Nonsense. How can my little Xing be like you said? I often praise her, and I have never seen her get carried away." When Shen Wenru saw his mother protecting Shen Tianxing like this, he quickly begged for mercy. Yes, I said it wrong, Mom, I'll just be humble. It's not good for you to praise her, so I'll praise her too." Hearing Shen Wenru's words, the whole family burst into laughter, ha ha ha. Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi listened to the laughter coming from the living room and smiled at each other. Dugu Zixi quietly said to Shen Tianxing, "Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator." Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 178. Xiaoxing, when you come to our house, everyone in our family will pamper you just like Grandpa, Grandma, and parents. Shen Tianxing smiled and nodded, "I believe it. Now Grandpa and Grandma Dugu, as well as your father and mother, are very good to me." Dugu Zixi glanced sideways at her, "My dad and my mom, that's your dad and your mom too." Shen Tianxing glared at him coquettishly, "Aren't I trying to distinguish the two parents? I must have called them mom and dad in person." Dugu Zixi quickly laughed and said, Okay, I misunderstood. I'll give you a kiss as a punishment." After saying that, Dugu Zixi gave her a quick chirp on her face. Shen Tianxing smiled and punched him lightly, "If you hate me, you will take advantage of me." Dugu Zixi put her face close to hers and said, "You are welcome to take advantage of me. Come on, you can take advantage of me as much as you can, for as long as you want." Shen Tianxing reached out and pushed his face away, smiling and saying, "I'm not as shameless as you." While they were busy working and chatting, relatives coming to the banquet also came to the door one after another. Without exception, they all approached Shen Tianxing as soon as they entered the house to give her, the birthday girl, a birthday gift. Shen Tianxing received a bunch of gold necklaces, gold bracelets, jade bracelets, brand name clothes, bags, etc., as well as a lot of blessings. Shen Tianxing knew that every birthday gift they gave her carried their deep love and blessing for her. She came to the Shen family by fate, but it was also her luck that made her fall into this lucky nest. The Shen family has a really good family tradition. No one is a top-notch person. They are all people who know how to advance and retreat, are not greedy, and know how to be polite. Zhang Hua, Wu Haishan, Gao Lingfeng, and others also came with gifts. What surprised Shen Tianxing even more was that many villagers working in Shen's ecological manor also sent her birthday gifts. But they all knew that the Shen family kept a low profile and did not invite foreign guests to any extravagance. They put down the gifts wisely, said their blessings, and left. Shen Tianxing felt very embarrassed and could only say to Li Xiaoxia, "Mom, let's give them a gift back later. They care so much about me, so we can't be rude." Li Xiaoxia smiled and said, "Even if you don't say anything, mother will give them a gift in return." At this time, the second uncle Shen Wenzheng and the second aunt Sun Yazi also arrived. Shen Wenzheng and Sun Yazi, like everyone else, gave them their birthday gifts when they saw Shen Tianxing, Xiaoxing, "Happy birthday." Shen Tianxing took their gifts with a smile and said to them sweetly, "Thank you, second uncle, thank you, second aunt." Shen Wenzheng looked at her with a smile and said to her, "Open it quickly. Do you like this gift? This is a bracelet I specially asked a friend to ask for from the Huguo temple in the capital. It is said that it has been blessed, it also has protective effects, do you think it's true?" Shen Tianxing smiled and nodded, "Okay, let me take a look." She opened the mahogany box containing the bracelets and saw a bunch of Bodhi bracelets exuding deep Buddha light, lying peacefully in the box, exuding a soothing aura. Shen Tianxing was slightly surprised, picked up the Bodhi bracelet, looked at it carefully for a while, and then said to Shen Wenzheng, "Second uncle is really thoughtful. This bracelet is a good thing. Second uncle, you have put a lot of thought into this thing bar." Shen Wenzheng smiled and said, "It didn't take much effort. I got it by chance. I thought your birthday was coming soon, so I just gave it to you as a birthday present. Do you like it?" Shen Tianxing nodded vigorously, "I like it. Thank you, second uncle." Sun Yazi smiled and asked, "Let's take a look at second aunt's gift. Do you like it?" When Shen Tianxing saw that the gifts from Sun Yazi were also brand name clothes, she joked and said with a smile, "Second aunt, you and eldest aunt are really on the same page. Both of you gave me clothes. The clothes in my wardrobe. Now there are so many that I can barely contain them." Sun Yazi laughed loudly and said, "It's best if you can't pretend. That will prove that our little star is living a good life, Axia, don't you think so?" Li Xiaoxia also smiled and nodded, and hurriedly called for them to come in and sit down, "Stop standing now and sit inside for a while. The only thing is that Xiao Rui's kid hasn't come back yet. As soon as he comes back, we'll start the dinner." When Shen Wenzheng heard that his eldest nephew Shen Tianrui hadn't come back yet, he couldn't help but frowned. What did that kid do? I called him specifically today and asked him to come back early. Why hasn't he come back yet? Li Xiaoxia guessed and said, "Maybe something has delayed you." Shen Tianxing has 5 eldest cousins, 4 of whom work or go to school in Kyoto. Only this eldest cousin can come to her birthday dinner in person. But her 4 older cousins sent her birthday gifts early in the morning. It's almost time for the banquet to start, and the cousin hasn't come yet, so Shen Tianxing is also a little worried. She immediately pressed Shen Tianrui's birth date and calculated it for him. When he saw that the hexagram showed that Shen Tianrui was about to suffer a peach blossom disaster, Shen Tianxing's beautiful eyebrows also wrinkled. Shen Wenzheng, Sun Yazi, and Li Xiaoxia, who were surrounding Shen Tianxing, saw Shen Tianxing's bad expression after finishing the calculation and immediately asked, "Xiaoxing, is there something wrong with Xiaoyui? Shen Tianxing sighed softly, brother will encounter a disaster. However, as long as I am here, nothing will happen. I will save him. When everyone heard what Shen Tianxing said, they immediately felt relieved. That's good, that's good. Shen Tianxing suddenly laughed, big brother is here, and he really brought a woman with him. Shen Wenzheng and the other three were shocked when they heard she said that Shen Tianrui really brought a woman back. Isn't it? Did you really get it right? So what should I do now? Shen Tianxing smiled at them, don't be nervous, nothing will happen today. I will talk to my elder brother about this later, so don't worry. When you meet him, don't show any flaws. Brother so smart, he can see it easily. Shen Wenzheng snorted coldly, he can see it best. Why hasn't he brought anyone here for so long? Why did he bring someone here on your birthday? He's really ignorant. Although Shen Tianrui is his eldest brother's son and nephew, Shen Wenzheng treats Shen Tianrui as his own son, and both of them work in the public security system. Shen Wenzheng treats and trains Shen Tianrui as his successor. That's why he spoke a little more seriously. Shen Tianxing hurriedly said to him, second uncle, don't be anxious. I believe the eldest brother knows it well. It's okay. Let's just treat it as an extra guest. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 179. While they were talking, Shen Tianrui had already driven the woman over in his favorite jeep. Shen Tianxing let go of his consciousness and saw Shen Tianrui park the car at the gate of her villa. He got out of the car first, and then he ran to the passenger seat next to him like a gentleman and invited the woman out. And that woman also acted as if Shen Tianrui should have treated her like this as a matter of course. When Shen Tianxing saw the face of this woman clearly, he found out that this woman was the one who was destined for Shen Tianrui's peach blossom disaster. Shen Tianxing's face instantly darkened. This woman's appearance is indeed very good looking. She has straight, black, waist-length hair, a petite figure, and an appearance like a little white flower. She looks weak, but charming. Many chauvinist men like this kind of clingy women. And Shen Tianrui's character happens to be biased towards machismo. So, Shen Tianxing still doesn't know that his cousin is really fascinated by this woman? Or is there another secret? If the cousin is really fascinated by this woman, I'm afraid it will take some effort to get him out of this emotional swamp. Shen Tianrui led the woman into the courtyard gate of the villa, and at a glance he saw his little cousin Shen Tianxing standing at the door of the villa, looking at them with a smile. Shen Tianrui glanced at Bai Xiaolian beside him, his handsome face was a little warm, as if this smart little cousin had read through all his thoughts. Shen Tianxing was watching as Shen Tianrui led Bai Xiaolian into the courtyard gate of her villa, but he did not hold hands, which proved that the relationship between the two people was not in a passionate state of love. Shen Tianxing also breathed a sigh of relief. That's good, at least it can save you. What she is most worried about now is that if Shen Tianrui doesn't marry this Bai Xiaolian, then she may have to use extraordinary means to avert his misfortune. If family matters could be resolved rationally, Shen Tianxing would not want to use such extraordinary means against his family. Shen Tianrui led Bai Xiaolian to Shen Tianxing, smiled and took out his birthday gift, Xiaoxing, happy birthday. Shen Tianxing took the gift and said with a smile, thank you, brother. This is. Shen Tianrui quickly introduced her, this is Comrade Bai Xiaolian, a colleague from the logistics department of our public security bureau. In order to save face for Bai Xiaolian and fear that Bai Xiaolian would feel inferior and embarrassed, Shen Tianrui did not tell Shen Tianxingming that Bai Xiaolian was actually just a temporary worker in the canteen, only a colleague in the logistics department. Bai Xiaolian's expression seemed a little timid. When she looked at Shen Tianxing, she seemed to be afraid that Shen Tianxing would drive her away. She carefully took out the gift from the bag and handed it to Shen Tianxing. Sister Shen, I wish you a birthday happiness. Shen Tianxing accepted her gift and smiled politely. Thank you, Miss Bai. Brother, you are late today. Everyone is waiting for you. You will have to punish yourself with 3 drinks in a while. Shen Tianrui has always been full of love and tolerance for Shen Tianxing. Basically, whatever she says is what she says. Now that he heard her say this, he also smiled and said, okay, I'll punish myself with 3 drinks in a moment. Bai Xiaolian looked at Shen Tianrui from the side, looking like she wanted to persuade but didn't dare to. Shen Tianxing pretended not to see it and said to Shen Tianrui, brother, please bring Miss Bai in quickly. When Shen Tianrui led Bai Xiaolian in, the eyes of more than a dozen people in the room were all focused on them. Bai Xiaolian seemed a little shy, standing timidly next to Shen Tianrui, and quietly held his sleeve. She is very smart and knows that Shen Tianrui is not 100% devoted to her yet, so she does not dare to hold his hand directly, for fear that if she goes too far, he will not give her face and directly shake her off. But her perfect performance made everyone present think that she was Shen Tianrui's girlfriend. Shen Tianrui was a little embarrassed when he saw everyone's sizing eyes, but he still introduced Bai Xiaolian to everyone frankly. This is Bai Xiaolian, our colleague from the Logistics Department of the Public Security Bureau. Bai Xiaolian also smiled timidly at everyone and said, hello everyone. I'm Bai Xiaolian. I'm sorry to bother you today. As soon as everyone heard Shen Tianrui's introduction, they knew that Shen Tianrui and Bai Xiaolian were not boyfriend and girlfriend. Although the eldest uncles of the Shen family, Shen Wenjun and Ma Hongying, hope that their 27-year-old son will get married soon, they also like girls who are generous and cheerful. At this time, they really couldn't like Bai Xiaolian's cowardly, delicate, and weak appearance. They really didn't want their son to find a wife like this. But Uncle Shen's family has been a village official for so many years, and he has already developed the ability to socialize. Aunt Shen is also a sensible person. Although the couple slanders in their hearts, on the surface, they will never embarrass their son. Li Xiaoxia also smiled and greeted the guests. Miss Bai, right? Come and sit with Tianrui. Bai Xiaolian also responded obediently, thank you, Auntie. At this time, Du Guozixi personally took charge of the giant turntable table at Shen Tianxing's house that could seat 20 people. It was filled with the delicious food they cooked, as well as fine wine, snacks, etc. In order to make it easier for everyone to pick up food, they prepare double portions of each delicacy, and they are all large portions. No matter which side of the large round table the turntable is turned, everyone can get the dish they like. After everyone sat down, Shen Tianxing, who was the birthday boy, took the lead in picking up the wine glass and said with a smile to all the relatives and friends present, my dearest elders, my friends, and Miss Bai, thank you for today. I took the time out of my busy schedule to attend my birthday party. I would like to propose a toast to you all. I hope you all have a good time tonight. Come and join me in blessing me. I wish you all a happy life. Everyone raised their glasses together and said to Shen Tianxing with a smile, happy birthday, Xiaoxing. Xiaoxing, I wish you have the present day every year, and the present day every year, and get better and better every year. Xiaoxing, I wish you become more and more beautiful and stay young forever. Xiaoxing, I wish you progress in your studies and all the best. Xiaoxing, I also wish you happiness. Small star. Small star. Listening to everyone's nice blessings, Shen Tianxing clinked glasses with them one by one, narrowing his eyes with a happy smile, come on, let's drink this together. Cheers. Cheers. After everyone drank the first glass of wine, Shen Tianxing picked up the glass again and said to her parents, For this glass, I want to thank my parents for their education and training. Without you, there would be no me. Shen Tianxing's day. Mom and Dad, I love you. Come on, let's do it together. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 180. When Shen Wenru and Li Xiaoxia heard their baby daughter moving, they were so moved that their eyes instantly became wet. They also picked up their wine glasses and clinked them with Shen Tianxing one by one. Shen Wenru smiled and said to his daughter, "Daddy's little baby, Daddy loves you too." Li Xiaoxia also smiled and said with red eyes, "Xiaoxing, Mom loves you very much too." "Thank you, Dad." "Thank you, Mom." Shen Tianxing smiled and clinked glasses with them before finishing the drink. The birthday gift the couple bought for Shen Tianxing was a red sports car imported from abroad. Shen Tianxing also expressed her love for this red sports car to her parents. Shen Wenru and Li Xiaoxia smiled happily when they saw that they liked her. After toasting his parents, Shen Tianxing toasted another round of elders, 3 classmates, and his eldest cousin. Even Bai Xiaolian was not left behind. Finally, I paid tribute to Tugu Zixi. Zixi, thank you for everything you did for me today, thank you. Tugu Zixi took out a rose necklace with a defensive array carved from the violet jade produced in the life space from his pocket, and gently put it on Shen Tianxing's neck. He looked at her with a smile and said, "I carved this with my own hands. Do you like it?" Shen Tianxing nodded vigorously, I like it very much." Others also smiled and looked at the young couple, feeling happy and blessed by the deep affection between them. By the time everyone had bowed in a circle, Shen Tianxing's cheeks were already red from drinking, and his eyes were a little blurry, which made Tugu Zixi feel distressed. When she wanted to drink with others, Tugu Zixi wouldn't let her drink and drank for her. Bai Xiaolian looked at Tugu Zixi, who was noble, outstanding, and extremely fond of Shen Tianxing, with a dark light flashing in her eyes. She thought that Shen Tianrui was already handsome and cool enough. Unexpectedly, in this family, there is such a handsome and generous man. If her future man is such a rich and handsome guy, she will be willing to kill her. Shen Tianxing has been paying attention to Bai Xiaolian. At this time, as soon as she saw the vague light flashing in Bai Xiaolian's eyes when she looked at Tugu Zixi, Shen Tianxing knew that this little white flower was definitely not a fuel-efficient lamp. She wanted to trap her eldest brother, so that was all. Now that she saw Tugu Zixi, who was better than her eldest brother, she actually had other thoughts. This kind of little white flower with eyes as high as the sky, life as thin as paper, and so vain that she thinks that all the men in the world will like her is the most annoying thing. Fortunately, this little white flower is still a little smart and doesn't dare to do anything in front of her. If this little white flower really dares to do something to make her unhappy, Shen Tianxing will really throw her out. Everyone kept eating, drinking and making noise until after 9 o'clock, and then they dispersed. Before leaving, Shen Tianxing called his eldest cousin Shen Tianrui aside and asked him seriously, "Brother, are you in a relationship with Bai Xiaolian?" Shen Tianrui shook his head, "No, I just go to the cafeteria to eat, and Bai Xiaolian often comes over to talk." Shen Tianxing asked him again, "Then why did she follow you here today?" Shen Tianrui said helplessly, "When I got off work, she stopped me and said that she knew it was your birthday and she must come back with me to celebrate your birthday. It seemed like she would cry to me if I didn't agree to her. I was thinking at that time, I will bring her back to show you. Your eyes are as sharp as knives. Who is she? There will be no hiding from you. Besides, I brought her here because I wanted my dad and mom to know that I am really looking for a suitable woman to marry. If this Bai Xiaolian doesn't work, then I have to find a suitable person before getting married, right? In this way, I have something to say, and my parents are too embarrassed to push me anymore, right?" After Shen Tianxing listened to Shen Tianrui's analysis, she knew what she had expected, and she felt relieved. Shen Tianxing immediately gave him a thumbs up. Brother, you are killing two birds with one stone. Amazing, amazing. You are worthy of being my eldest brother. Shen Tianrui smiled faintly and asked her with concern, I brought her here, didn't it affect your mood? Shen Tianxing smiled and said, of course not, but brother, I have to remind you that from your appearance, you have recently been involved in a peach blossom calamity. Peach blossom calamity is not a matter of luck. Peach blossom calamity can lead to death or injury. You must pay attention to it. And the person you are facing is Bai Xiaolian. You have to be careful these days. Are you always wearing your protective jade amulet? Shen Tianrui took out the jade amulet given by Shen Tianxing around his neck and showed it to her. Don't worry, I've been wearing it all the time. I didn't even take it off when I took a shower. Shen Tianxing nodded, that's fine. You must be careful these 3 days. If anything happens, call me right away. Shen Tianrui still liked to reach out and rub her head like he did when he was a child, and said softly, okay, I understand. When Shen Tianxing saw Bai Xiaolian stretching her neck in hope, she smiled at him again and said to him, okay, it's getting late, so hurry up and send people back. Shen Tianrui nodded slightly, okay, I'll leave then. If you need anything, contact me again. Shen Tianxing sent him out and gave Bai Xiaolian a gift in return. Just now she also saw the gift Bai Xiaolian gave her, which was a crystal hairpin worth about tens of yuan. Shen Tianxing returned a few boxes of snacks he made to Bai Xiaolian. The gifts given by other relatives and 3 classmates were relatively expensive, and she responded according to the importance of the gifts, including the folks who gave gifts. After sending off all the guests, Shen Tianxing also felt a little tired. She said hello to Shen Wenru, Li Xiaoxia, and her twin brothers, then pulled Du Guzixi into her room, and then they slipped into the life space together to rest and practice to restore their mental and physical strength. Shen Tianrui walked Bai Xiaolian downstairs to the dormitory of the Public Security Bureau and drove away directly. Shen Tianrui, who was anxious to see someone off and go home, didn't notice that there was a man with a shaved head and deep eyes not far away, hiding in a dark corner, looking at him and Bai Xiaolian talking with resentment. Laugh. After Shen Tianrui saw off the people, he returned home and found that his parents were not asleep yet. They were sitting in the living room watching TV and waiting for him to come back and talk. Seeing him changing his shoes and entering the door, Ma Hongying couldn't wait to ask him, Xiaorui, what's going on with the Bai Xiaolian you brought here today? Is she really your girlfriend? Shen Tianrui raised his clear eyes, looked at his mother with a half smile, and asked her, Mom, what do you think of her? If she becomes your wife, do you want her?